We'll keep a low profile for the first meet. Just you guys and a mediator.
A mediator?
Yeah, nobody can predict what type of feelings or reactions a person can have in a situation like this. Don't worry, she's a psychologist. You can look her up if you want.
No, that's okay.
We decided to arrange the meeting at Persnickety Park.
Why a park? She can just come home.
The mediator can shed more light into this than I can. I'll have her give you a call. Her name is Gladys.
Gladys?
Crash! A picture is ripped from the wall and thrown over the second-story railing and smashed in the foyer. Slam. Melissa's door slams shut. This a sound Claire has come to expect when having conversations such as these, then followed by the same dark desires she comes to expect to accompany such instances.
She's taken away my peace of mind and happiness. I've given up everything to give her a good life, but she's determined to ruin it with her selfish behavior. The pain and anger I feel have boiled up inside of me for long enough. I can't control it anymore. I can only think of one way to make it stop. I don't want to do it, but it will free me from her influence. I will do my duty as a mother and put her out of her misery. I will do what must be done.
Murder being premeditated can be a complex thing, especially for someone with the angst and imagination of Claire. She has ended her daughter's life 100 times over in her mind, but what is a plausible plan?
Smother her with a pillow? Nah, she might escape. Shoot her? That's stupid, Claire. Clean and quiet, Claire. Clean and quiet.
She walks to the fridge to retrieve a tube of cookie dough. She carefully slices it into discs and puts them in the oven.
These cook quick. Should be done in a few minutes.
She heads upstairs and turns on the water to the bathtub. Lukewarm will be fine. She plugs the drain so it can fill. Then she heads down to the basement, where her and John keep all the implements used during their sex parties. John had recently procured a tool for controlling submissives a few months before. A catch pole. A catch pole, also known as a snare pole, is a long straight tool typically made of aluminum or fiberglass, with two handles, a loop at the end, and a long line running from one handle to the other. The loop is designed to slip over an animal's head, trapping it and allowing the user to control it without harming the animal. Catch poles are most commonly used by animal control officers and veterinarians to safely restrain wild and domestic animals. Claire takes a few practice grabs. She easily snares a bucket, then a boot, and a lamp.
Piece of cake. John, you've finally done something useful.
It's a beautiful, sunny day at the park. The sun is shining brightly, and a light breeze creates a pleasant atmosphere. The grass is green, and the trees are a vibrant shade of green. Birds are chirping, and the air smells sweet. People are strolling around, taking in the sun and enjoying the outdoor scenery. Some people are playing frisbee, while others take their dogs for a walk. Children run around and laugh joyfully as their parents look on with admiration. Everyone seems to be having a great time and enjoying the beauty of the park. Claire and John are at a picnic table under one of the verandas. John has been getting the charcoal grill ready to cook chicken and assorted veggies. Claire set up a pitcher of lemonade with cups, plates, and napkins. Claire looks up to see two women approaching. She tells John to look. The sight of the nervous young woman walking to meet her estranged parents is one of apprehension and worry. Her shoulders are curled inward as she moves forward, her hands shifting and rubbing against each other nervously. Her brow is furrowed as she glances down at the path ahead before finally looking up to the horizon. The uncertainty of the unknown looms heavy in the air, creating a heavy atmosphere. Her eyes are wide and watchful, her movements sluggish yet determined. Each step forward is taken with trepidation and fear, as the young woman braces herself for whatever awaits her ahead. Gladys approaches them first, hand outstretched.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Meyers. I'm Gladys Lorenstein. We spoke yesterday.
I'm Claire, and this is John.
Melissa cracks a nervous smile as she approaches.
Hi. It's been so long since I've seen you both. I'm not sure where to start. My name is Melissa. I know it's been a while since we've talked and that we have some unspoken differences, but I'm hoping we can put those aside, at least temporarily. I really want to get to know you both again. It would mean a lot to me.
Claire becomes lost in her mind's eye.
You aren't my daughter. Look at you, standing there with that imposter's vein. I remember when I would tuck her in at night and whisper good night with a kiss. I can still see her little face, full of life, but that's not the face I see before me now. You're not my daughter. I can't replace her with you, and nor do I want to. She was my only daughter, good riddance, and you don't measure up. I'm sorry, but you'll never be her.
May 15th, 2007. The cookies are transferred one by one from the baking sheet to the serving platter.
Sugar cookies, her favorite.
Claire quietly walks up the stairs and places them just outside the door to Melissa's bedroom.
I'm still mad at you.
The scrumptious aroma from the cookies permeates the hall and seeps into her bedroom.
That's okay, honey. Let's just eat these cookies. And if you want to talk, great. If you don't, then I'll leave after the cookies are gone.
Melissa declares from the opposite side of the door, having picked up the scent of freshly baked cookies. There is silence. A click from the doorknob is heard. The door creeps open. Melissa sticks her head out, looking for the cookies she was promised. Thwack! The looped wire is slammed over her head and immediately tightened by her mother. Melissa grunts and struggles in protest, but quickly loses her stamina. March! Claire exclaims as she motions towards the bathroom door. Melissa marches. The door to the bathroom was slightly ajar. Claire slams her daughter into the door to fling it open, and in the same fell swoop aims the pole into the full bathtub. Claire wedges Melissa's head in the corner of the tub and levers back with all her weight, making it impossible for Melissa to move her head, pinning her in the bathtub. Claire is in a trance-like state as she drowns her teen daughter in the bathtub. Her eyes are unblinking and her jaw is clenched. She is oblivious to her daughter's terror, screaming for her life as her little body spasms in the water. All that matters to Claire is that she must finish the deed, and so she keeps her daughter under the water, her hands pressing down. She feels a distant sense of relief when finally her daughter's body stops convulsing. Melissa's body was floating in the bathtub, her skin pale and her lips tinged blue. Her hair was floating around her like a halo, a stark contrast to the dullness of her lifeless eyes. Her body was limp. Her arms were bent and her fingers were slightly curled, a testament to her final struggle against the water. The three of them exchanged pleasantries under the supervision of their mediator.
I just had to get away from it all. I ran away with a guy I met at the gas station. I went to our old house last year, but you guys have moved and you have zero social media presence. So that's when I reached out to Clancy to explain my situation. He did his thing and here we are.
Being under supervision, the Meyers knew not to press any issues.
Wow, well, we're so glad to have you back.
Once they were settled in, they dug in and enjoyed their lunchtime feast. The mother praised the father's secret sauce recipe, and their daughter couldn't get enough of the crisp veggies. As they finished up the meal with contentment, Gladys addressed the Meyers.
Well, all seems to be well with this family group. I'll be reaching out in a week or so to see how everyone is doing. Melissa has already paid for her hotel through next week, isn't that correct?
Yes, I'm at the Hyatt over by the mall. I'll give you my room number and stuff, and maybe we can get together again soon.
Definitely.
John enters the room. His face is stunned and disbelieving. He stares at Claire, unable to comprehend what she has done. Claire, why? Why would you do this? His voice is barely audible, choked with emotion. He slowly walks over to the bathtub, trying to make sense of what happened to their little girl. Tears run down his face as he takes in the scene. Claire sits in the corner, her shoulders shaking as she cries. She looks up at John, pleading for his understanding. John takes a deep breath, trying to keep his composure. He kneels down in front of Claire and takes her hands in his. His daughter had passed away. Fighting against his instinct to cry, John quickly shifted his focus to what he had to do next, the disposing of the lifeless body. He had to find a way to help his daughter find peace without anyone ever finding out what had happened. He immediately thought of the wooded area that runs parallel the river, and he realized that it was the only option. He was filled with fear and dread, knowing he was about to do something so terrible, but he knew it was the right thing to do. He quickly gathered the supplies he would need and drove to the woods, his heart heavy with grief. Once he arrived,
He laid his daughter's body down in the dirt and tried to remain composed as he began digging a grave for her. He dug for what seemed like an eternity, until finally the hole was deep enough to properly lay his daughter to rest. With a heavy sadness that he had never felt before, he laid his daughter's body in the makeshift grave and said a prayer for her soul. The drive home went on forever, replaying the grisly images in his head over and over and over again. He eventually arrives back at the house, where Claire greets him.
We shouldn't have done this.
I know it's hard, but what other choice did we have? We just have to stay strong for each other. Do you want a cookie?